station of Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are San Diego.
From Seattle, good evening. No, it's not a good evening. It's a sad evening. We've lost two San Diego icons in the last 7 months. First Jerry Coleman, and now Tony Gwynn is gone. He died early this morning. Mr. Padre, number 19, a humble hero, driven to baseball excellence, a sensitive and a caring man. Yes, the man could really play this game of baseball. No one in 80 years could match his 8 National League batting titles. But what we'll miss most is that infectious giggle, the genuine handshake, and the fact that his love never waned for all that is San Diego.
Padres fans showing their respect to Tony Gwynn, as well as the Mariners, number 19 in the dirt here in Seattle in the 5.5 hole, where Tony hit so many of those hits that he racked up. I got to talk to a lot of the guys in the clubhouse to get their memories on Tony Gwynn, and one thing was the same between all of them. They struggled to put how much he meant to them in just a few short sentences.
You know, this is a tough one for us. This is a tough one for, obviously, the San Diego community. This is a tough one for the Padre organization, the San Diego State family, baseball in general. You know, he was a great ambassador.
He was huge. You know, a guy that played his entire career here, had opportunities to go elsewhere and chose to stay here. You know, and I know how much San Diegans loved him, but I know how much he loved San Diego as well.
And for me, being a San Diego kid and to worship and look up to him, admire him, love him as a Padre and as a role model, he really impacted my life. And it's a tough day for me and as well as a lot of people.
You know, when college players, you know, after class, you go to the baseball park, you go to, you know, we went to the field for practice. I never beat Tony Gwynn to the field. He was always there. Whenever I was there, he was there. So, you know, he loved the baseball field.
And in honor of Mr. Padre, the Padres will have a black stripe on one of the sleeves of their jersey. They'll also have a number 19 Gwynn jersey hanging in the dugout. We will continue to pay tribute to Mr. Padre when we come back.
At Safeco Field, what a nice touch. The grounds crew with a number 19 there between short and third, the 5.5 hole where Tony delivered so many of his base hits, going over 3,000 in his Hall of Fame career, and in the dugout as well. All the players in the Padre uniform tonight will not be able to go by that number 19 and not recognize one of the greats. So baseball does go on, and that's the way Tony would want it. There was never any self-pity in his fight with a terrible disease. He left us with much to celebrate. Tyson Ross will be on the mound tonight for the opening of this two-game series, then two versus Seattle down at Petco on Wednesday and Thursday. Here's the Padre lineup tonight, brought to you by Toyota. Will Venable's going to lead it off. Another fan remembering Tony Gwynn. And now the lineup. Venable, a Princeton man, will be facing a Princeton on the mound. A Tiger, Chris Young, the former Padre right-hander. Seth Smith second, then Carlos Quentin, the DH. That's right, the DH for the two-game series here in Seattle. Chase Headley will hit cleanup. Then Yonder Alonso, Yasmani Grandal bats 6th, Cameron Maybin 7th, Everett Cabrera, and then Alexi Amarista in the 9 spot. Well, you can't be, even if you're rooting for the Padres tonight, you have to save a place in your heart for Chris Young. He just has not given up the dream. He's 35 years of age. He's come off shoulder surgery, just would not walk away from the game. And he's had a good season, Mark, so far.
Yeah, he's a hard worker, getting back into the big league uniform. Like you said, he's still chasing the dream. He's going to pitch until somebody rips off that uniform and putting up some pretty decent numbers as a Seattle Mariner.
He's 5-4 coming in as the Mariners take the field. For the Padres, this is their 70th game of the 2014 season. They're 13.5 behind the Giants. Seattle rests 7 back of Oakland in the American League West.
And a scouting report on the former Padre right-hander Chris Young. He's not overpowering, and he's got that stealth fastball where it'll sneak up on you. He's only going to top out about 86, 87 miles an hour. Comes at you with a straight fastball, a slider, and a changeup.
And a check of the Mariners defense brought to you by Honda. Ackley, Jones, and Chavez left to right in the outfield. Seager and Miller on the left side. Cano, second best average in the American League. And Morrison at first base with Zunino, the young catcher, handling Chris Young. Young at 6'10". It's the match of Randy Johnson when he was here. They've had 2 of the tallest pitchers ever in the major leagues.
Yeah, unlike Randy Johnson, doesn't throw as hard. Like I mentioned, 86, 87, he's got to rely on a spotted fastball, and he'll flip up that slider once in a while as well. And Dick, while we're here in Seattle, Tony Gwynn played so many years as a Padre, and you could think of a story wherever he went. And coming here to Safeco Field, Tony was not an All-Star in 2001, but remember, he was honored in the 6th inning of that All-Star game. He and Cal Ripken playing in that All-Star game, and just everywhere we go, number 19 in the brown, in the blue, and the orange, all around baseball, people remember Mr. Padre, no doubt about it. He's made quite an impact. You talk about a ripple effect, not only in the San Diego committee, but all around the United States in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, never one to beat his chest. I don't think he ever knew how great he was.
I have to agree with you. Yeah.
So Will Venable, isn't this an interesting start? Venable leads off the game against the fellow Princeton man, Chris Young. Venable opens tonight at 2:06. Padres a rough road trip. They've won 1 of their 6 so far, trying to close it out with a couple of wins. Come back home and host these Mariners on Wednesday night and Thursday afternoon. Chris Young winds and we're underway. Strike called. There's the fastball at 84. Smith and Carlos Quinton to follow. 0-2. It's a brisk night. Nice sunshiny day. It was raining hard when we arrived late last night from New York. Not by much outside, says plate umpire and Iasonia.
Another beautiful day up here in the great Northwest. 65 degrees, calm winds.
Struck out Venable. Weak swing, 1 away. Brings up Seth Smith. There's Iasonia calling the balls and strikes. C.B. Buckner, Hal Gibson, and Dale Scott will work the bases. The Mariners winning yesterday against Texas 5-1. That snapped a losing streak. They had dropped 5 in a row here at home. 3 straight to the Yankees and 2 to Texas before coming up with a 5-1 win yesterday. Seth Smith takes a strike. 13th start for Chris Young. Smith the top Padre average at 287. Drive to right center field and falls in front of right fielder Chavez. Smith a long turn and he'll have to put on the brakes and scamper back. A single to get things going here in the first inning for Smith.
Well, Chris Young hides the ball well. He's a short arm pitcher. He really doesn't get a big arm swing, and especially for left-handers at times, very difficult to hit. Well, Seth Smith seeing the ball well out of the hand of Chris Young. gets aboard. A big key for these Padres is try to get Chris Young into the stretch early.
Carlos Quentin as the DH. So that saves his legs. Won't have to play a defensive position, but gets him in the lineup. A couple of home runs. Well, they talked about it when he was with the Padres 5 years, an All-Star in 2007 with the Padres. At 6'10", he has such an interesting angle, the ball down into home plate. There was a time it seemed like the taller hitters had better luck against him than the shorter ones, because they were more up near eye level.
And the amazing thing, you'll get a lot of swings and misses against Chris Young. 86, 87 mile an hour fastball, and the looks on hitters' faces are just like, how did I miss that?
Well, Quentin just missed that one, sends it high off third and out of play. Actually with a look. And it's 2-1. How about the keys to the game?
I'm glad you asked, Professor. The keys to the game, as always, brought to you by your Honda dealers of San Diego County. You know what? Swing like you're a batting champ. Field like you're a Gold Glover. Play like you're an all-star. And make Tony proud to wear that Padre uniform.
Yeah, that's well done.
And you know what, Dick, as we look at all these jerseys around with Gwynn on the back, I mean, humility was one of the greatest gifts that Tony possessed. We would be in the booth and we'd show a Gwynn jersey, and he was almost like shy about it.
Yeah, why would they want to buy that?
Yeah, he just like wow, he'd say, you know. And he'd put his hand up to his mouth and kind of just look at the screen and kind of, wow, that's amazing, you know, even for him to say that.
Reaching out and hitting a soft fly ball to left. Ackley charging, can't get there. Drops for a base hit. Well, you don't have to swing hard necessarily to come up with a base knock. If that had been on the ground, it would have been right through the 5.5 hole, but that'll serve as a single for Quentin. And the first first two hits of the game, Smith and Quentin with one out.
Well, Dustin Ackley in left field, somewhat respecting the power of Carlos Quentin. And when this ball is off the bat, kind of tough to see if he's held his ground, but a long run for the Mariner left fielder, and it drops in there for the base hit.
Here's the cleanup hitter, Chase Headley, tied with Smith and Grandal in home runs with a half dozen. Long home run on Saturday in New York. One and one. Well, Chris Young was a teammate. Padres really don't have a line. They haven't had the experience of hitting against him. This is the first time he's faced the Padres. Two and one. Well, we've made most of this 6,891 mile run around.
Is that what it is?
Philadelphia, New York, Seattle, and then home. Another 1,000 to go before we arrive home tomorrow night. And it's 2-2. University of Tennessee's Chase Headley, a high school valedictorian. Of course, Chris Young, immensely intelligent himself, a Princeton man, wrote his thesis, senior thesis, on Jackie Robinson and his influence on racial relations. Got him. So he strikes out Venable and fans Headley 2 away. Well, in case you're wondering, here's the pick the stick tonight. Alonso for me. Grant goes with Venable. Mike Pomeranz has Smith. He's got a point already. Mark Sweeney's got a point with Quentin. And Chris Budley just went -1 with Headley. Those are the results. Late in the telecast. There won't be a Padre postgame show tonight. Immediately following our telecast, the final out, we'll have the tribute to Tony. We hope you'll stay tuned for that. Alonso, 213 mark. He's back in that good doubles groove. Quite a few doubles of late. He has 15 now on the season.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, huh?
No.
Wear out the gaps.
1-1.
And as you can see, pretty straight fastball. So hopefully the Padres can square that fastball up, get on top of it, hit it on the line or hard on the ground. At times, Chris Young will pitch up in the strike zone. Tough to lay off that pitch.
Smith at second, Quinton at first. 2 outs. Interesting scheduling, isn't it? 2 here, and then Seattle goes down, returns the favor 2 at Petco, the 2 teams that share the Peoria complex facilities in spring training. I guess that makes us rivals.
Yeah.
Young backs off, wants his catcher Zunino. Go through the signs again. Sliced off third base. Over to take a look is Seager, and he makes a nice backhanded catch. It wasn't hit that high, so Seager had to race to get over there. There's a lot of foul territory, and that ends the Padre threat in the first. No score. Here come the Mariners. Ask him about the influence his dad had on his life.
Whatever it is you're doing work-wise is what you'll get out of it. You know, if you want to be a mediocre player, you'll put mediocre work in. Now, it doesn't always work to where you put a lot of work in and you're going to be an all-star, but that's definitely the right tone you want to set.
Well, that was so true of Tony, and Bud Black pointed that out. You never beat him to the ballpark. He couldn't get there soon enough to work on his trait. He didn't become a great hitter by accident. He worked constantly to be better and better.
Absolutely, and I think Mark Sweeney talked about it in the pregame show about how proud he was of the Gold Gloves, because when he came up to the big leagues, he really had to work on that, and he became one of the best.
Think of it. In 20 years, he struck out only 434 times.
Yeah.
You got him out. You had to work. Andy Chavez leads it off. The lineup for the Mariners loaded with left-handed batters. Brought to you by Mattress Discounters. We get a chance, we'll run down the top 9. Only 2 right-handed bats in the lineup. Drive to left center field, and that's going to fall in front of Maben for a hit. Here is the Mariners lineup after Chavez. They really like the young James Jones. Then Robinson Cano. Got him as a free agent, paid a lot for him, and he's produced. He's the 2nd best average in the American League. Then Kyle Seager, Jesus Montero, Logan Morrison at first, Mike Zunino, Dustin Ackley, and Brad Miller, the shortstop.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting report today for Tyson Ross, brought to you by Jaguar of San Diego. Aggressive with all of his pitches, and then when he gets to 2 strikes, wipe him out with that slider. We know how devastating that pitch can be out of the hand of Tyson Ross.
Jones, a 4th-round pick 5 years ago. Bunts in front of home plate, pounced on by the catcher, Grandal, and he gets the force. Good quick play by Grandal. The ball wasn't punted that far out in front of home plate. And safe on the fielder's choice is Jones. Let's look at the Padres defense, brought to you by the Aramco Group. Smith in left, Maben in center, Venable in right field. Still some splashes of sun out there. Headley, Cabrera, Amarista, and Alonso on the infield. Grandal handling the pitching of Tyson Ross. You see below the star for Jerry Coleman, just below on the sleeve is the black band honoring Tony. We're guessing there'll probably be something even more special as the season progresses. At 19, there'll be something. Robinson Cano. There goes the runner. It's taken all away. Grandal's throw. Not in time. Jones, one of the few base stealers on this team. That's his 8th.
As a ball club, the Mariners are 12th in the stolen base category, but Jones is one of those hitters in the number 2 spot. He can bunt. He's got good wheels. I talked to some of the Mariner people. They say, you know, he's kind of a bigger and stronger Juan Pierre.
Yeah, that's a good call. Looks a little like Pierre physically. So Cano taking all the way, allowed his teammate to steal. Now man in scoring position with 1 out here in the first. 2-0. Well, you could see in spring training how Cano is going to help this team. I don't think he took a bad swing even in spring training. He was hitting line drives all over the lot. Power down a bit from his Yankee days.
That's a good sign from Chris Young. Or, I'm sorry, Tyson Ross with that slider. 2-0. He threw it for a strike to get 2-1.
Fox Track said, yeah, that's a pitcher's strike. You saw the home run numbers down in part because this is the tougher park in which to hit the long ball. With the Yankees the last 5 years, he had 25, 29, 28, 33, and 27 homers. So he had a lot of punch in pinstripes.
Yeah, only 1 home run here at Safeco Field this year for Robinson Cano. It's already on June 16th.
Runner goes and steals third as Cano walks. Now Ross guilty of not looking back at second, and Jones picks up the extra base. A couple of steals. Runners now for the Mariners on first and third for Kyle Seager.
Well, it looked like Tyson Ross looked as James Jones timed it perfectly. He looked, turned towards home plate, kicked, and he was off and running.
Seager had himself quite a day yesterday in the victory against the Rangers. Went 4 for 4. Leads the team with 42 runs batted in, and the 9 homers also tops for Seattle.
Well, these are situations for Kyle Seager where he has really done a fine job as a Seattle Mariner. He's hit over 20 home runs last 2 years, but doubles. Over 30 doubles the last 2 years. Runner in scoring position here. Pretty good little hitter. Hitting 281 this year with runners in scoring position.
falling behind again, 2-0 after walking Cano. First and third, 1 out here in the first inning. Digging a hole here early. Ross a bit wild. Jesus Montero on deck. And he's green lighted. A deep drive to right, and Seager has homered. The North Carolina Tar Heels sprints around the bases, number 10. And on one swing, the Mariners lead 3-0. Ten homers, 45 runs batted in for Seager. Those are all-star numbers.
Well, a cleanup hitter early in the ball game and multiple base runners. Really got to be careful. I was thinking maybe 3-0, giving him the green light. Well, the swing tells it all there. It was a fastball just right down the middle. Tyson Ross trying to get the first strike of the at-bat. That was a pretty good-looking swing right there by Kyle Seager.
Well, you've just walked a man, and now you go 3-0. That was a good time to see that green light. And Seager delivers. Montero just called up by the big club. He's had only 3 at-bats, 1 for 3. Good breaking ball there, that slider. So a single to Chavez. He was forced by Jones. Jones then stole second and third. Cano walked, and Seager plants one in the right field seats for a 3-0 lead. Montero goes down swinging. First strikeout for Ross. 2 out for Logan Morrison. And Anthony Gwynn Jr. sent this tweet today. I lost my dad, my best friend, my mentor. I'm going to miss you so much, Pops. I'm going to do everything in my power to continue to make you proud. Tony Jr. is so much like his dad. He laughs the same way. He's got that little accent the same. Here they are, Papa and son. I think Anthony was a bat boy way back of the Padres.
I remember him many times in the clubhouse, putting on the uniform, going out, taking some BP, taking some grounders, taking some fly balls. Just very proud of his dad. I mean, he just, Tony loved baseball, but the pride and joy was Anthony and Anisha, his daughter, and of course his wife Alicia and the grandchildren. He would love to talk baseball, but his face just lit up when it came to family.
Yeah, the last couple of years he was always worried about Anthony. He wasn't playing a lot. Then the Dodgers sent him down to Albuquerque.
Right.
Didn't come up the whole year. He's finally found a home in Philadelphia, a bench player. Logan Morrison rips one up the middle for a base hit. And the first inning continues for the Mariners. Well, Morrison yesterday struck out and was so mad he went in the dugout and took his maple bat and slammed it against the wall. It shattered and it landed on the corner of his eye. It needed 5 stitches. He's lucky he didn't really come up with a serious eye injury.
Exactly.
He said that was foolish. I apologize to my teammates. I have no right to be that angry. Well, he took out his anger on the baseball that first swing. Brings Darren Balsley out to the mound to try to settle down Tyson Ross. 3 runs already here in the top or the bottom of the first inning for the Mariners.
I just trying to see what Darren Balsley was talking about to Tyson Ross. Said something about a first pitch. Looked like he was saying something about a first pitch down in the zone. Tyson, if he's got that feel for that slider, it's a very effective pitch, whether it's the first pitch or later in the sequence of pitches.
Brings up Mike Zunino. Young man just drafted a few years ago, has made it to the big leagues in quick fashion. 7 home runs.
His first pitch slider down in the zone. Nicely done.
Zunino's only 23.
You know, Dick, talking about Logan Morrison and that snap that he had, I don't ever remember as a teammate with Tony see him snap, throw a helmet, throw a bat in disgust. And you know what that tells me? Deep down, he knew he was good and he was going to get the guy next time.
Yeah.
It was just a fluke.
Yeah, it's still a game of failure. The other guy got you 2 out of 3, but when you got him better than 1 out of 3. Fouled away.
Oh, he'd be ticked off. He'd be really ticked off, but he wouldn't let that emotion get the best of him.
You know, it just is, to put it in historical perspective, he and Honus Wagner, the Hall of Famer from back in the World War I days, those are the 2 8-time National League batting champions. The runner goes, and swinging and missing, however, is Zunino. Couple of strikeouts for Ross, but on one swing, Kyle Seager has given the Mariners a 3-0 lead.
That's my favorite moment in this game. It was unbelievable. To be the last guy standing out there with Ted Williams as he threw out the first pitch was the best. And I hope that 20 years from now somebody will be talking about me in the same vein as I'm talking about Ted Williams.
He had so much admiration for San Diego's Ted Williams. In fact, that's the only time I've ever heard Tony say Ted Williams. He always called him Mr. Williams when he was in his presence.
Yeah.
That's how respectful he was. Top of the second, Yasmani Grandal, then Cameron Maben and Everett Cabrera. Padres got work to be done here early, thanks to Seager's 3-run homer. And Ted Williams loved Tony because Tony, like Ted, just was so passionate about him. How can I be better?
Yeah. And you talk about the respect factor Tony had for Ted. I love seeing the clips of Tony and Ted sitting down talking. And Tony's almost like a little kid looking up to an idol, and just like a little kid listening to a teacher. And he's just so enamored and just adores Mr. Ted Williams. And just to see the look on his face.
No, you're absolutely right. Just to underline his greatness, 338 batting average, you have to go back to Ted Williams retired with a 344 average over 50 years ago. And then you go all the way to Tony Gwynn. That's how good. A half a century better than the rest, Tony Gwynn. The Gold Gloves and the All-Stars and the Baseball Hall of Fame. And it goes on and on. People forget he could steal you a base, too. He once stole 56 in a season. So a leadoff walk to Grandal, and here's Cameron Maben at 283. Well, the Padres had a couple of men on in the first inning. Couldn't do any damage. The Mariners the same, 2-1, and Seager crushed one. Ground ball to short. 6-4. 3. Double play. Well, you talk about the 15-time All-Star Gwynn. Here are the All-Stars as of now in the balloting in the National League. Stanton, McCutchen, and Puig would be the outfield. Tulowitzki and Utley, the double play combo. David Bright, though he's having a down season, at third, getting all those New York votes. Goldschmidt deservedly there at first. Molina behind the plate. Minneapolis in mid-July, the All-Star Classic. Well, base is empty now for Cabrera. Hitting out of the 8th spot. This is a new home for him. He's been at the top of the order most of the year. But with a DH, Bud Black can alter the look of his lineup. .87 on the fastball. Makes him so tough if he's not throwing hard.
I think he hides the ball really well, Dick. He's, like I said earlier, he doesn't have a big arm swing.
Fly ball curling toward the left fielder, Ackley, and that'll do it for the Padres in the second. Middle of the second in Seattle, 3-0 Mariners.
Twitter this morning to pay their respects to Tony Gwynn, and we'll start first with Cameron Maben. Here's what he had to say. Prayers go out to Gwynn family. We have lost a true icon and all around a great man today. Tony Gwynn, may your soul rest in peace. And then Yonder Alonso saying, quote, we talked hitting every time I saw him, questions after question, a true friend. So sad to hear the passing of Tony Gwynn. May he rest in peace. And when you talk to a lot of the players in the clubhouse, a lot of them worked with them on hitting during the offseason, talking about just how much they learned from him. Tony offering advice whenever he could, guys.
Thank you, Chris, for that report. And he would never impose himself on other players. If you wanted to ask him, and you were a fool if you didn't, he had all the good answers. But he didn't come in and say, hey, you're doing this wrong. Why don't you try this? But if you asked him, he was a great friend. Fly ball off the bat of Ackley behind short, and it's Cabrera out to squeeze the first out here in the second inning. Brings up number 9 hitter Brad Miller. Miller hitting just 176, occasional power with 4 home runs.
Well, I received a tweet from a friend of mine, friend of a friend. It says, in Detroit, at their ballpark, Comerica Field, they put a TG 5.5 painted on the field. Great. And also a moment of silence for the Hall of Famer.
That ball is hit deep to right field. If it's fair, it's gone. And it's another home run for the Mariners. Not known for their power, they certainly are flexing their muscles against Tyson Ross tonight. That's number 5 for Miller. And Seattle leads 4-0.
Well, Dick, they've got the bats out tonight. Miller hitting 9th. Gets extended on this one. Up in the box, Miller is. And these Mariners ranked 11th in the American League in home runs.
In fact, coming in tonight, they had 51 team homers. The Padres 50. And they have come up with a 3-run shot from Seager and a solo blast by Miller. And a tough day already, and the game isn't making it easier for Bud Black down in that Padre dugout. Leadoff man Chavez singled to left center his first time. He's wobbly, 3-0. There's a strike. And another walk. Second walk, but he's been behind several other hitters. There's Comerica Park before the Royals-Tigers game in the 5.5 hole. Much like here, instead of the 19, they have the initials of Tony Gwynn as a remembrance. You know, the beauty of baseball, and my dad taught me this, going to a major league game, you know, don't be afraid to cheer the other team down there. You know, you want the Tigers. We were Detroit Tiger fans. You want the Tigers to win. But if somebody makes a good play, you know, it's okay to give him a little applause.
Sure.
Yeah. And you come to see some of the other players. Didn't you come to see Ted Williams take batting practice? Mm-hmm. Yes, Dad, I did. And I think we've lost a little bit of that. You know, it's okay if someone makes a great catch, or even though it's against you.
That's because you're a fan, right?
Yeah. And that's what's being expressed by baseball for Tony. Yeah. No, he didn't play in Detroit. He was our treasure. He was San Diego's man all of his career. But he still was a great player wherever he went, and good fans acknowledge that. Not just in death, but in his great career as a player. 1-0 now to Jones, who stole a couple of bases after he tried to run his way on. Safe on a fielder's choice and stole second and third in the first inning. San Diego State did a nice thing in extending Tony's contract just a week ago.
Yep.
And they knew it was a short time, but that was the
very nice gesture.
Final salute to the head coach of the Aztecs, alum. Chopped to short. Cabrera, Amarista to first, but not in time. Jones is speedy. Safe on a fielder's choice again. Chavez out 6-4, 2 outs to Robinson Cano. And of course, his first love was basketball, and went to San Diego State as a basketball player, point guard. He could go end to end. And mostly that's what he did so well. Set up his teammates. The all-time assist leader in a season.
Well, he had eyes all over the court, didn't he? He knew exactly what he was doing. Saw his teammates, passed it off. Very nice.
Two-sport star, and then after not playing baseball as a freshman or sophomore, goes out for the baseball team, and it didn't take long for people to realize there's his long-range future. Cano goes after one in the dirt. That's that slider. He walked in the first inning and scored on Seager's 3-run homer. Jones bears watching. He stole 2 bases, second and third, the last time he was on. That's it. They had him leaning.
Oh, they sure did.
Good move by Tyson Ross, just a little tardy on the tag.
You know, I think was key there, the long set by Tyson Ross.
Throw had been a little lower, they'd have gotten him.
Runners with speed, they get a little antsy over there with the long set from the pitcher. At times they take that chance where they're just going to go after a long set.
For nothing, Seattle leading here in the second inning. Cano up with Jones at first base, 2 outs. He's off, fouled away. So he goes out for the Aztecs baseball team. There he is in the red and black and makes All-America twice. Hit only .423 and .416 as doing in senior year.
Man. Drafted both by the Padres and the Clippers. Look at him get on top of that pitch. Seen that many, many times.
You see those old photographs, and it's just like the statue. That's how he hit.
Yeah. And Tony was so pleased with the way that statue turned out.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
You brought it up during the pregame when we were talking, Dick, and we were talking about stuff we were going to talk about during the game. And
Jones goes. Rondal, no chance. That's his 3rd stolen base. He now has 10 on the season.
No, with the speed of Jones, you can just smell that one coming. Tyson Ross trying to be quick to the plate, and Yasmani working under that one a little bit. For the throw was on the first base side of the second base bag.
So it's 2-2 on Cano. Broken bat looper to left, and it's a fair ball just inside the line. Jones scores. Cano into second with a double. 5-0 Mariners. Yeah, good hitters get those. Broken bat flare. RBI number 37 for Cano.
Well, Tyson tries to throw the backdoor slider, it looked like. And Cano, good plate coverage, just flaring that ball out to left field. Might have even touched the line there. Nope, very fair by about a foot.
So 5-0 as the Mariners chalk up 2 more here in the second. And Seager with a 3-run homer his first time up settles in the batter's box with a man in scoring position. Seager on a tear. We told you yesterday 4 for 4 and 3 RBIs. First swing tonight makes it 5 for 5 and 3 more runs batted in. He's got to be feeling real good. Count goes 2-0. This may be just one of those nights for Tyson Ross. Every pitcher gets hit with one where just not in command, awkward, the rhythm is off.
Such a different at bat against Tyson Ross when he goes 1-2 rather than 2-1 and have deep counts like 2-0, 3-0.
There's the 3-0 pitch that Seager hit for the home run. He's got another coming up.
Yeah, with that runner in scoring position, you have to be careful.
There's a strike. Cano with an RBI double out at second, 2 out. Three and 2. Slider.
Well, why not throw him another one here? 3-2.
Absolutely. He walked him. Third walk. 5 hits and 3 walks. Not a good couple of innings for Tyson Ross. Another visit from pitching coach Darren Balsley.
Well, the texts and the tweets keep coming in regarding the passing of Tony Gwynn. And a friend of mine who was watching an LA Dodger game, we know how much Vin Scully loved Tony. And of course, we know the feeling was mutual. Vin Scully on the PA called for a moment of silence before the Dodger game, honoring Tony.
Yeah, Tony grew up closer to Los Angeles and San Diego, went to Long Beach Poly High School. And our great blessing was he decided to go to San Diego State and never left. So first and second as Balsley leaves. And designated hitter Montero comes up. He struck out the first time. A reminder, it's a day game tomorrow, 12:30 here on Fox Sports San Diego. Eric Stoltz on the mound against Roenis Elias, who is 5-5. Strike one. Mariners are averaging about 24,000 per game. And we would guess that won't quite reach that count tonight. Although a beautiful baseball night, the roof open. Ooh, 50-footer. And by the time Grandal picks it up, the runners advance. Cano to third. Seager to second on the wild pitch.
Well, usually when Tyson Ross out there on the mound early in the ball game, you can really feel and see if he's got that touch down on the breaking ball and the location of the fastball. But we've seen that many times before. When he does that, it just doesn't have the release point. And it might be a mechanical issue where he's jumping out, maybe rushing towards home plate a little bit.
Certainly yanked that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Way outside and low. 2-1. And he needs to end this inning without more Seattle runs. It's already 5-0. Montero in a position a single could make it mighty difficult. A tall mountain to climb for San Diego. Bounces another. 3-1. Tim Stauffer first to peel off the warm-up. And the count full now to Montero. Beautiful city when it's sunny, isn't it?
It most certainly is. One of my favorites. I love coming up here. I love the ballpark. Love the downtown. Love the view of the football stadium where the Seahawks will play.
And the Sounders, right? Sounders play over there. The soccer team, they love their soccer up here. How about the U.S.? They beat Ghana today 2-1. It's a big 3-point win. And a very dramatic one it was. Got him swinging. The slider. He went after a ball in the dirt. And that ends the second. 2 more runs on 2 hits. It's 5-0 Seattle. Nothing. As we go to the top of the third, Chris Young presented with a nice early gift, a 5-run cushion with which to work. He has a terrific record here. In fact, he was 6-0 lifetime until the Yankees beat him on this homestand. Some of those wins coming as a Padre. Alexi Amarista leads it off. Then the top of the order, Venable and Seth Smith. Ball and a strike. So you were about to explain what baffles hitters and Chris Young's motion. Now that we have a chance to examine it more in detail, why is it he's tough to pick up?
You know, Dick, a lot of pitchers have what they call a good arm swing out of the glove, to where the hitter will see the ball really well before he releases it. Chris Young has a high front side there, and then all of a sudden he kind of short arms it to where the ball is behind his cap. And then before you know it, he strides, and then all of a sudden the ball is pushed out of his hand, and it's on top of you, and it's tough to catch up.
You can see right at the ear, right ear. Ooh, yep. He throws it almost off his right ear. Amarista hits one high and deep to center, but Jones out there has room. It's pitcher's ballpark, much like Petco. Time for our Geico quote of the game from the commissioner today, Bud Selig. Major League Baseball mourning the tragic loss of Tony. Yeah, greatest Padre ever, one of the best hitters of all time, synonymous with San Diego Padres. 338 lifetime, 8 titles, and by half of all the major league clubs. Of course, he extends the condolences to the Gwynn family. Venable, the batter. I like what Tony said about Alicia's wife. He said, I met her when I was a scrub, and she was with me then and with me my entire life.
There you go. Yep.
Venable pops it up. That'll make it back by the Padre dugout.
You know, Tony and Alicia were very private people, right? Very humble. And we all know what Tony did, obviously, on the field, but a lot of people don't realize under the radar and what Tony did for families, for children, for kids, taking kids in, helping them out. They weren't ones to boast about that. Or
no.
They just did it out of the kindness of their heart. They didn't want recognition for it. They knew they were just helping somebody.
Community service.
Not once did he ever refuse signing a ball or a bat or a jersey for a golf tournament or for a friend in the hospital or as a gift.
Venable strikes out for the second time. It was never, what do you want? It was, what can I do for you? What a difference. 2 outs here in the third.
And you know what I loved about Tony? And you witnessed this, Dick. Remember, people would ask him for autographs, and they're so excited, right? And they'd say, hey, Tony, give me your autograph. And Tony would be like, what? I said, give me your autograph. He goes, aren't you supposed to use a certain word? And then the parent or somebody say please. Please, Mr. Gwynn. There you go. And then a big smile, sign the ball, sign the glove, and give it back to the kid. And he appreciated good manners.
Seth Smith singled the first time. The shift is on. Second baseman Cano out in shallow right field. Change up that time. 1-1 to Smith. Padres got a couple of singles in the first inning. Smith a single to right, and Quinton looped a single to left, but no run scored. Foul tip. 1-2.
You'll get a lot of looks from hitters, Dick, regarding Chris Young and the fastball we were just talking about. 86, 87, right down the middle, swing and miss, and hitters will be like, how did I just miss that pitch? It's because it's tough to pick up. It's the stealth fastball. I said that when Chris Young was a Padre.
There's the slow curveball, and Smith caught looking for strikeouts for Young. It's 5-0 Seattle. Will be open until 11 o'clock tonight. For those of you who want to remember Tony Gwynn and that great statue area, the outpouring of love for Mr. Padre as President Mike D joins us. And I'm sure you've heard it from all corners how much we're going to miss Tony Gwynn.
Well, it's been a sad day for sure. And, if there was any doubt how the world felt about Tony Gwynn, there's no doubt tonight. The accolades and the sentiments coming not just in San Diego, obviously, but from around the baseball world. Just an extraordinary guy and a guy who's left us far too soon.
Mike, you first met Tony when you came to San Diego back in the late 90s. What's your fondest memory of number 19?
Well, there's a lot, Bud. We all have those Tony stories. I mean, in general, it was his laugh. I mean, was there a better laugh than Tony Gwynn's? Yeah. I mean, it was the best, and just always in a great mood and just great to work with when we, from a front office capacity. On the field, I mean, I have two, which both happened in the 1998 postseason. The first was an at-bat he had against Randy Johnson in Game 1 of the division series down in Houston, where actually his art of hitting was on full display against a guy who was 10-1 and had an ERA under 1 and was lights out in that building. And in the 6th inning, just reached the bat out, hit a line drive double right down the third baseline, led to our first run and really set the tone for that series. And then what he described, I know, as his favorite hit, which was the home run in Game 1 of the World Series against the Yankees, which was just so fitting. It was his first postseason home run. He hadn't had a great postseason. In fact, he had struggled against Atlanta, but then hit 500 in that World Series, and that 2-run home run really just set the tone, for the great player that he was.
That was a monster home run off the second deck at Yankee Stadium. Got an inside pitch and yanked it right off the wall, second tier.
Remember the feeling in the stands that night after he hit that home run. It was like, I mean, he deserved it. He earned that moment, and it was great to see him have it.
I heard a terrific conversation between Ted Williams and Tony, and Tony was complaining about the fact that pitchers now sometimes Ted Williams never thought they were smart, but Tony was giving them credit for their smarts. They're saying they're pitching me more and more inside. It's tougher to get through and hit that ball on the left side, which is where I make my living. And Ted said, well, what you got to do? A couple of times, you got enough power. Yank one out of there. You know what's going to happen if you do? They're going to pitch you outside.
No question. And that was just prior to his 1997 season, which was his power breakout season. That was just, I think at age 37 or 38, he came out and 17 home runs and 122 ribbies that year. And, he really had 9 lives. I mean, by the time I came to San Diego, he was, as he would describe it, on the back 9 of his career, but aching knees. But, man, he just went out there every night and made you proud to be part of the organization. And for so many generations of San Diegans, it's, the news was going to be tough.
Could be, too. Cabrera going to the bag himself and fires the first in time for a 6-3 double play. Mike Zunino. And Morrison erased on the play. 2 out here in the third.
I know you guys have talked to people back at home today, and the word that I've heard more is the city's heartbroken. It's just it's impossible to put into perspective what he meant to San Diego in words. And I was just there for a small chapter of it, but such a profound impact on everybody. Everybody. And what's great today is for everything he accomplished on the field, for every word spoken about his on-field accomplishments, there's been a word or maybe 2 words spoken about how great a guy he was off the field. And that's just not locally, but with the national media as well.
Flat out, he was just a nice man.
Yeah, no, he was. And it's 2014 with, of course, Jerry's passing earlier in the year, and this, it's certainly a tough one. And as we did with Jerry, with the JC patch on the sleeve, we're working with Major League Baseball today to add something to the jersey, hopefully in time for Wednesday's home game for Tony.
Ackley with a high fly ball to fairly deep left center. Maven's out there to make the catch. And that'll do it for the Mariners in the third. Can you stay another half inning?
Sure.
Okay. Mike D., president of the Padres, with us. We'll be right back at Safeco Field in Seattle, where the Mariners lead 5-0. remember the great Tony Gwynn. And a reminder, after game time here, Final Out, we'll not have Padres postgame show. We'll have a tribute to Tony, a half-hour program. I know many of you will want to stay tuned for that. Mike D is with us here, broadcast booth at Fox Sports San Diego. Carlos Quinton, first ball hunting, sends a high fly ball on the infield. Shortstop Miller, one away.
You know, I know the viewers back in San Diego got a chance to see this because you guys stayed live here at Safeco Field, but really be remiss if we didn't thank the Mariners for what they did tonight. You know, the 19 and the 5.5 hole, the video tribute, the moment of silence. It you know, was really moving. I know I sit down next to the dugout, could see the reaction of the guys and their class organization.
And apparently we've heard Mud's heard from people in Detroit. They did the same at Comerica Park, and I would imagine around baseball. I mean, he touched us all deeply in San Diego. We were lucky he was ours, but every major league city knew Tony Gwynn and knew what he meant.
Yeah, you know, we've talked a lot about Tony, but a great testament to number 19 is also when we would travel.
Headley,
the other team's press pool,
right?
They would love to go to the Padres dugout when Tony would hold court out there. And they would talk about the game. They would talk about anything and everything. But every member of the press that I've met, nothing but great things to say about Tony. How cordial, how gracious he was with his time.
Yeah. With the shift on, Headley tried to bunt for a base hit, but couldn't get it away from the middle of the diamond, and there's two away.
You know, the other thing that, you know, oftentimes fans weren't there to see, but when you work around the ballpark, you know, literally there were thousands of kids during Tony's 20-year career that he would visit with before the game. Oftentimes not in the public eye. He wasn't doing it to, you know, be on display as a good guy. He would sit in the dugout, or he would meet him back in the tunnel, talk to him in the stands. You know, it was he genuinely cared about kids. You could see it, and it's ironic that later in his life, you know, he coached, and you know, we shouldn't forget the San Diego State community tonight, because he was such a fixture there for so many years, going back to his alma mater.
And the diligence with which he took his professional responsibility to be better and better. You know, when you're that good, you might take a day off, but that wasn't his style.
Yeah, you know, George Will wrote the famous book Men at Work, and he would come to San Diego and speak because he spent summers there. He would often talk about Tony as a personification of that title of that book. I mean, Tony was at his core was a lunch pail guy, right? I mean, he would come, he'd get to the ballpark early. He was, you know, the baseball equivalent of a gym rat, you know, if you will, and just soaked it up. But again, not just soaked up the baseball, but soaked up everything around him, and it was contagious. You know, there were parts of Tony's game that transcended his teammates, obviously, to do greater things.
Alonso, the hitter, 1-2 the count. High pop-up. Young has that pop-up working. Another chance for shortstop Miller. Handing over. Thank you, Mike D. We'll look forward to news about the memorial service and all the things that Padres are going to do.
Yeah, those will come clear later in the week. But thanks for having me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mike. Seattle batting in the bottom of the 4th inning, leading 5-0. Number 9 hitter Brad Miller didn't act like one in the 2nd inning. Hit a home run in the right field corner, his 5th of the year. Then it's the top of the order, Chavez and Jones. Rolled out toward Tyson Ross. One away. Dave Winfield with his tweet, "I'll always remember the smile by Tony. Aside from being one of the best of all time, he was a great guy and family man." Chavez is singled and walked. Tony Gwynn on his way to well over 3,000. Here's his very first hit in July 1982. It was a double, and Pete Rose, following up on the play, the first baseman Rose for the Phillies at the time, came over and said, "You don't have to beat my record in one night."
Yeah, that was a great story always by Tony.
Rose knew that it was going to be something special. Three 3-0 again. Rough night with his control, Tyson Ross. 66 pitches.
Well, Andy Chavez has done a nice job in the leadoff position for these Mariners. He does the little things, puts the ball in play, not a lot of strikeouts, and that's exactly what the Mariners need in that leadoff spot.
Way outside. That's 5 walks from Ross. And in a 5-0 game, Ross is going to have to grin and bear it, it would appear. You don't want to get into your bullpen this early and burn it up. No off days for the Padres. We go right from here to a 5-game homestand. Seattle Wednesday, Thursday, and then the Dodgers are in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. With 3 steals tonight, the man at the plate, James Jones, significant. He's the first Mariner with 3 steals in a game since Ichiro was here, 2010. Look at that bat.
Different, isn't it?
Looks like he's used that for a couple of seasons.
Yeah. You don't see a shade like that, right? Usually it's the black bat or the white maple.
Yeah, there's a silver aspect to it. A ball and a strike to Jones. Saved twice on a fielder's choice and scored both times. Got himself in position by stealing 3 bases. Line drive, base hit. Holding at second is Chavez. Jones now has hit safely in 28 of his 35 starts. He's been a good addition to this Mariner lineup.
Well, he does a fine job of hitting down on this baseball and hitting it on the line. And when you've got speed like Jones, that's exactly what you want to do. Avoid hitting the ball in the air. I mean, once in a while, maybe run into one. But hard on the ground, hard on the line. Left-handed hitter right there, James Jones, who's up in the box.
6th hit for the Mariners, 2 of them home runs. And you throw in 5 walks, so a lot of base traffic in the first 4 innings. And 5 have come home. Cano blooped a double down the left field line, just fair. Knocked in a run in the second. 1-1. Chavez at second and Jones at first. Two good base runners. One away in the Mariner fourth. To second. Amarista gets one there, and that's all they will get as Cano able to beat the relay. First and third with two outs then for Kyle Seager. Jones did a good job of getting into Cabrera on the relay.
He most certainly did. That was a good old-fashioned hard slide to second base. Everett had to hesitate a little bit and then do the splits. Try to get rid of that baseball and throw to first base, but not in time.
Seager, 3-run homer in the first inning. Walked his last time. And there's that bouncer, breaking ball.
Dick, you know, a lot of times when Tony and I, and you and I would talk hitting in the broadcast booth, I'd mention a pitcher's name, and he would say, "Yeah, good hitting, Mud, right? Good hitting." But he would never say that publicly. He just kind of, because he didn't want, you know, people right. He'd be humble about it. But we talk about Tony facing great pitchers in his career.
Ground ball deep to second, but Amarista playing on the outfield grass denies Seager. And the Mariners will leave two in the fourth, but lead it 5-0.
Tony Gwynn talking about him pitching or going against great pitchers. You know, he faced his old college teammate Buddy Black a few times. The reporter asked Buddy, he said, "What was the scouting report against Tony?" He goes, "Scouting report? There wasn't any. He hit anything you gave him." However, Buddy fared pretty well against him considering how well he did. Tony, 4 for 15 against his old college teammate. However, Buddy, like many pitchers, never struck him out.
Yeah, Buddy, a proud San Diego State alum, and he likes to refer to Tony as one of, state's own. Saddened as we all are on this day to hear the news. I really hope, and no one said much about this, that it has some impact on young players. It's so upsetting to see college players, sneak a chew.
Right.
And the cancer of the mouth related to chewing tobacco, and it's taken the life of a good man way too soon. Grandal walked his first time. Chris Young gave up a couple of hits with one out in the first, but sacks have been pretty empty since. He's given up the one walk to Grandal, and that's been it. Chris still lives in the San Diego area, makes his home in La Jolla. Run into him now and then, taking my walk in the off season. Yeah, not yet, says plate umpire Iasonia. 3-2 now to Grandal. Maben and then Cabrera out of play. Oh, right down the heart of the plate. Cano can't get to it. It's into right center field for a base hit. That's the third Padre hit. The leadoff man is on. And it's time now for the Saquon Casino Daycation stat of the game. One of his many outstanding marks on baseball in his 20 years. Fewest career strikeouts. Minimum 10,000 plate appearances. 434 strikeouts. The great second baseman of the White Sox in the 50s and 60s, Nellie Fox. Yeah, he choked way up on that barrel bat of his. And Bill Buckner on that list.
Wow. That's an amazing statistic. Talk about putting the ball in play.
I mean, there's some players today that they can hit over that many strikeouts in less than 3 seasons.
Hey, as I mentioned just before break, hitting against the great pitchers of all time. Versus John Smoltz, Tony Gwynn, 462 average. He only struck out once against John Smoltz.
Maben takes 1-1.
In 107 at-bats against Greg Maddux, Tony hit 415, and he never struck out against Maddux.
Well, obviously, he had tremendous visual acuity.
Yep.
That's a common denominator with the really great hitters. Two and one. You see that Chris Young wears number 53. He's had different numbers, different teams. Here's a little piece of trivia now. How many of you can remember what number he wore when he was a Padre for 5 years? Three and one to Maben, and Zunino's going to go out and talk with him. How about Nolan Ryan? Is that a pretty good test for a hitter? Just throw that barrel out there. That's what he used to say. That's what all that grass is for out there.
That's right.
And these guys that complain about too tough to hit in this ballpark, it's so big. Coors Field, here, San Francisco, even Petco. High fly ball. Another Padre gets under a Chris Young pitch, and in comes Ackley to make the catch. Well, time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #FanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game telecast brought to you by AT&T. And Tony would just chuckle and say, look at all that grass out there. That's hits. Those are hits out there. What do you mean the park is too big? Cabrera fly to left his first time. I'm just hoping that during the course of the night someone will hit one through the 5.5 hole.
And hopefully it's a Padre, right?
Yeah. You remember the number that Chris Young wore?
I'm usually pretty good about looking at in my mind, seeing the name on the back of the jersey, and then seeing the number. I'm going to guess 32.
That's a good guess. 32 it was. He served 5 years with the Padres, was 33-25. Chris Young. ERA in 97 starts was 3.60.
Yeah.
He went deep with no hitters, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Most certainly did. A couple of times.
0-2 to Cabrera.
One of the scariest moments for me, obviously, and a lot of Padre fans know this, but the ball off Albert Pujols' bat. Right into the forehead of Chris. Man.
Talk about getting flattened, huh? Strike 3, and Cabrera goes down second. Make that the 5th strikeout for Chris Young. Looked a little out of the zone. Was that a strike? Buddy saying to Cabrera?
Wow.
"72 times this year, Cabrera struck out." We'll put that in perspective with Tony Gwynn's career. He's on a pace to strike out 150 times.
Right.
Amarista flying to center his first time.
And you know what I thought else was ironic, Dick? You correct me if I'm wrong, but remember we had a discussion with Tony last year. We were talking about slumps. And I think Tony's slump was ironically 0 for 19.
Yes.
His longest slump.
0 for 19. And he collected his 2,000th and 3,000th hit on his mother's birthday.
Unreal.
He was magical. High pop up again. Boy, the Padres high fly ball, pop up after pop up. Zunino in foul territory. And that's it for the 5th inning for San Diego. We're at the halfway mark in this one. And the Mariners lead by 5. By Kaiser Permanente. Thrive by Petco. The power of together. By your San Diego Lexus dealer. And by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Skyline of Seattle. Looking in from the west. Many fans here, Padre fans to the core, and Mariner fans are just respecting Tony Gwynn wearing the Padre colors. As we go to Montero, Morrison, and Zunino in the bottom of the 5th inning. Montero struck out both times. 0-2. Five runs on 6 hits for Seattle, 2 of them home runs. Most damaging. Broken bat, base hit, center field. Seventh hit for Seattle. Brings up Logan Morrison.
It's frustrating for a pitcher when you throw a ball off the plate and you see that swing from a hitter. You hear snap of the bat, and he is awarded with a base knock. Happens both ways, though, right?
It does. Bat is solid, and you hit a line drive, and a glove is in the way.
Yeah.
Morrison singled and walked. Well, Seattle comes into this game with a winning record. They're 35-34 without 3 key players. Justin Smoke, the first baseman, outfielder Michael Saunders, and Corey Hart all are on a rehab assignment. So they're about to rejoin this team. That'll bolster the lineup. Their pitching has really carried them so far.
Yeah. Second in the American League in ERA at 3.27. And you know what's ironic, Dick? When you look at the line for these Mariners, home and road splits, 15-20 at home.
Yeah.
And then look at their road record.
20-14.
Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with the hitting. For the M's, 222 average at home, 258 on the road.
But they're about to get 3 bats back in the lineup.
Yep.
Smoke, Saunders, and Hart. .81 pitches now for Tyson Ross. He needs a quick inning here to think about going 6 tonight. Shift is on. Struck him out. Number 4. Career notes on Tony Gwynn. Stole 10 or more bases in 11 seasons. A total of over 300. Posted .394 batting average in '94. Many thought he was going to hit 400. The magical number that hadn't been accomplished since Ted Williams in 1941. But the players went on strike in August, and that denied him a chance. I think Tony, you know, when you talk to him, he didn't want to bolster about it, but down deep in his heart, he felt that he could do it.
You bet he did. You're absolutely right. I remember talking to him about that.
Zunino is struck out and grounded into a 6-3 double play. Outfield playing Zunino to hit to right center. One and 2.
Remember we showed Tony getting his 1,000th hit off Nolan Ryan, right? He had 302 career off Nolan. He's the only pitcher to strike him out more than 6 times in his career. 9 total.
9 times Ryan got it?
Yeah. That was the guy that struck him out the most as well.
Fly ball to center. Maben right there for the second out. Hey, Nolan Ryan threw his glove on the field and he had 9 strikeouts.
Exactly. Well, this tweet coming in from the future Hall of Famer Greg Maddux. Tony Gwynn was the best pure hitter I ever faced. Condolences to his family.
Yeah, thank you for Greg Maddux. He makes his home in Las Vegas.
Be inducted into the Hall of Fame this summer.
Dustin Ackley has popped to short and flied to center.
That's going to be a big omission in Cooperstown, isn't it?
Oh! He yanked another one, and that got Ackley. Mariners get hit a lot for whatever reason. That is the 31st time one of their batters has been struck.
And you know, Tyson Ross doesn't have it when, you know, he starts yanking. And Dick, we've seen a couple of those tonight. And it's always glove side, down and away. The fastball and the breaking ball.
Fortunately, it bounced first before hitting Ackley, so he didn't get it full force. Brad Miller, a home run to right, his 5th of the year, a solo shot in the 2nd. Tap to the mound, his other at bat. 2 on, 2 out here in the 5th.
Well, sometimes Tyson Ross falls off a little bit too much to the first base side as well, like that last pitch there. And that tells me that he opens up a little bit too quickly with his front shoulder. And then when you drift that way towards first base and the ball's still in your hand, you kind of don't get out in front as much. Therefore, you push it up, and away out of the strike zone.
2-0. You know, they were showing the World Cup on the big screen here at the ballpark today, and It was an amazing win for the U.S. They scored with 34 seconds into the match. It was almost like they just started, bam, goal. Clint Dempsey scoring that first goal. Ghana really outplaying them in the second half, tied it at the 86, about the 70-minute mark. And they were dominating play. It looked like Ghana was going to get a tie or better. And then at the 86-second mark, John Brooks, just 21 years old, the youngest guy on the U.S. team, with a header, 2-1. They were cheering here. They know their football, soccer, as we call it. Bases loaded now on a single, a hit batsman, and a walk. That's now 6 walks for Tyson Ross. He may be approaching a career high.
Looks like Buddy's saying something about Stauffer on the phone to the bullpen. And for the second time tonight, off with the jacket, off with the arm wrap, and Tim is going to get hot.
Strike to Chavez, the leadoff hitter. Two strikes on Chavez. Mariners leading 5-0 and threatening with 2 outs here. Bases jammed to blow it apart. It is indeed a career high, 6 walks for Ross. He had walked 5 3 different times. And a hit batsman, and that pitch is on the inside corner, strike 3. 1 hit in the inning. The Mariners lead 3. It's still 5-0 Seattle. Real friendly, real close. By Jack in the Box, head in for the new jalapeno, ranch, or barbecue ultimate cheeseburgers. And by Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. Visit us at aramco.biz. Well, plenty of daylight here. It's almost 9 o'clock in Seattle in the great Northwest, and we're approaching the longest day of the year, just 5 days away. It's President Mike D. with his 2 sons down there enjoying the action. They've enjoyed their visit to Seattle, he told us, doing all the tourist things. Venable takes a strike. Will has struck out both times against his former Padre Chris Young. Venable, then Smith and Quentin. Young has not walked a man. Check that, he's walked 1, Grandal, and struck out 5. Scattered 3 singles. Boy, he's having his way with Venable. Despite the fact the Padres have had their troubles, they're 11 games under 500. You know, they're only 7 games off a wild card right now.
Yep.
I mean, if they ever get into a winning streak, they're bound to, aren't they? Out of play.
Well, it creates another division, and a lot of fans like it. There are some fans who aren't big fans of it. I personally like it. It gives a couple other teams a fighting chance. You get on that streak, you never know what's going to happen.
That ball ripped by the first baseman Morrison, and Venable has himself a solid single to right. Hit number 4 for the Padres. Let's see if that ignites a rally here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, the Padres need to get going. Extra base hits, maybe a home run here or there. This ballpark, though, not really home run friendly. Doesn't mean you can't hit one, but that one hit solidly after 2 strikeouts. Nice swing right there by Will.
Brings up Seth Smith, and the infield for the Mariners does the old turntable with third baseman Seager over on the second base side, and shortstop Miller the only one occupying the left side of the infield. Ball gets away, and Venable will be able to make it to second base. See how they scored that. Apparently a throwing error from pitcher Young. Padres have a man in scoring position for the first time since the first inning.
Well, I think that it looked like that throw was right there.
Yeah, it did. But they're charging the error to Young, at least for the moment. So with no one out, Venable in scoring position for Smith, Quinton, and Headley. Smith a single and a strikeout. .86-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
The appearance, at least from upstairs where we are, is his fastball kind of goes inside out.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
And it comes from behind the ear, that little short arm action.
Change up here.
Right back toward us.
Look
Watch
out.
out. And that one enters the broadcast booth. What a catch. What a catch.
Put that monitor right there.
I think we just destroyed a lot of equipment. That one. That's a rare experience for us, huh? I noticed you didn't come diving over there.
I'm too tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're forgiven. Whether we are able to see that monitor in use anymore will be something. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Seth Smith. You know, it's that old saying, if you're watching a game and the ball seems to be getting larger and larger, you better duck.
Exactly. I'm sorry about that, Professor. I should have went to my left to protect you a little bit there.
You would have had to go over the top. I was going to try to go for it too, but it's just not in the spirit tonight.
You know, 20 seasons for Tony, right? And I just got to thinking, when you put it in perspective, 20 seasons. Think of all the kids that were 10 years old when Tony first got called up to the big leagues. And he was there until those kids were 30.
And their children then were learning about Tony Gwynn.
I mean, what an influence he had on baseball fans and everybody, not only in San Diego, but throughout the world of baseball, who are baseball fans. Doesn't that put it in perspective?
Yeah, 2 full generations.
Yeah.
Ground ball foul. Pass first. Well, I'm going to have to put that monitor on the DL.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a while.
Actually, it's not a bad pattern for a shirt.
Turn it around.
Yeah, see how this is the monitor. This is how we're going to follow
Yeah.
the action. Yeah, there we go.
There's the culprit.
Yeah. So you mind if I share your monitor?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That one's yours.
2-2 to Smith. Struck him out.
Look at that 85-mile-an-hour fastball.
Amazing. 6 strikeouts for Chris Young.
Fox Sports Supports is proud to collaborate with Stand Up to Cancer, a groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that gets new therapies to patients quickly in order to save lives now. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com.
Well, a reminder again, folks, if you're just tuning in, the Mariners leading 5-0 here in the 6th, that immediately after the final out, we'll not have our normal Fox Sports Padres postgame show. Tribute to Tony to follow our game tonight, and all of you who love Tony, respected Tony, cheered for Tony. I think you'll enjoy our tribute. Quentin, a bloop single and a pop fly and another fly ball. Wow. They're getting under a lot of pitches of Chris Young. Center fielder Jones makes the second out. Our hearts are indeed heavy, and we send our condolences to Alicia's wife and son Anthony and daughter Anisha. We mourn the loss with all of you, San Diego. And tonight, immediately after the game, we honor the Hall of Famer. We have photos and footage and interviews from throughout his career, his friends, his fans, his former teammates. Tribute to Tony. It will air tonight after the game. Quinn's jersey hanging in the Padre dugout, and the number 19 in the familiar 5.5 hole that he used so effectively on the left side of the infield here at Safeco, and a black band on the right sleeve for the Padres. But as you heard President Mike D, they're working on a patch that will be permanently part of the Padre uniform. Another pop fly. Center fielder Jones settling in under it. That's it for the Padres in the 6th. Chris Young shutting them out. Through 6, it's 5-0. All right, thank you, Mike. James Jones, Robinson Cano, and Kyle Seager for the Mariners in the 6th. They have a 5-0 lead. Tyson Ross back out there in the 6th with 95 pitches. Jones aboard twice on fielder's choice, scored twice, stole 3 bases, and then singled the last time. Is wildness a factor, Tyson Ross, tonight? A career high 6 walks plus a hit batsman. Mariners have only 7 hits, but 2 of those home runs, as Blaine Boyer, just called up from the minor league system, begins to warm up. Nick Vincent going on the 15-day disabled list, so Boyer fortifying that bullpen. Ross with a flip and a 1-3 put out. Time now for the Southwest Airlines spray chart as we take a look at Robinson Cano.
Oh, Robbie Cano, the former Yankee, now wearing the Mariner jersey, and look at those numbers from gap to gap. That's why he's such a good hitter. Power to all fields, although the power not being on display this year in this first year up in the Great Northwest, but 24 to left, 16 to right, and up the gut, gap to gap, 43 hits for the Mariners second baseman.
He's second in average in the American League. Victor Martinez of Detroit, 333. Cano, 327. He walked and scored, drove in a run with a bloop double down the left field line, and safe on a fielder's choice ground ball to second his last time up. A ball and a strike to Cano. Appears he's going to be the American League second baseman in the All-Star game. .92 on that fastball strike. Cano hit .314 last year with the Yankees and 27 homers. He was the starting second baseman for the American League side. 5 times an All-Star. Got him. 2 away here in the 6th. 6 strikeouts for Tyson Ross. Trevor Hoffman, close, of course, to Tony. Greatest Padre of all. Tony was the consummate pro, and anybody who had the opportunity to be around him benefited greatly. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family. That was on Trevor Hoffman's retirement of his number 51.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, and even safe to say, that he's going to be the greatest Padre of all time ever. Is there anybody going to ever do that again in a Padre uniform?
Hard to imagine.
Yeah.
Boy, it would be great if it did, huh? If somebody came along even close to his greatness. Maybe even a couple of those.
Yeah, you just don't see a 20-year guy anymore these days, you know?
And if you are that good, you don't stay in one place. Look at Cano. That's the beauty. I mean, Tony, hey, he could have made a lot more money going somewhere else. The offers were there. He loved San Diego.
Yep.
That was part of the romance between fans and Tony. They knew he was going to be a San Diego Padre as long as he wore that uniform. Seager, the 3-run homer in the first inning, was the big blow of the night. Chavez had singled. Jones safe on a fielder's choice. Then Cano walked 2 on, and Seager, with a 3-0 count, belted one into the right field seats, his 10th of the year. 2-1. Just missed. 3-1. 107 pitches now. Certainly this is the last inning for Ross. Joe Beimel warming up in the Mariner bullpen, the first activity for Seattle. The beard's the thing, isn't it, now in the bullpen?
Very popular.
Walk number 7.
And as we promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. I want you to tweet your photo to hashtag #STFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in the game broadcast. And Jasmine at J2The, thank you very much. Brought to you by AT&T.
But Black out to the mound. We apparently are going to have a pitching change. And he now makes the move. So Tyson Ross labored a lot of pitches tonight.
I reached my goal. I'm happy about that. I set this out at the start of the season, and I've reached it. But now I got to go on. You can't live on what you've done yesterday. You have to go out and prove yourself every day.
And on he went to the 3,000 mark and beyond. Well, we have a pitching change brought to you by Drew Ford. Blaine Boyer back with a big club for the second time. His previous visit pitched just in one game, a couple of innings, allowed 1 hit, no runs.
Yeah, coming up from El Paso, and last time out was in the minor leagues against New Orleans, AAA, pitched an inning, couple hits. It was back about 4 days ago. And everywhere you look, a lot of Padre colors and people remembering the great number 19, Tony Gwynn. Even up here in Seattle.
That's great. Boyer rediscovered his curveball when he went to Japan. Made the spring roster. He inherits a runner at first. Seager, the 7th man that Tyson Ross walked. And it's Montero, the hitter. Struck out twice and a broken bat single to center field. A ball and a strike to Montero. Came over to Seattle in the trade with the Yankees. Trade that sent Michael Pineda, the right-handed pitcher, to New York.
Yeah, remember Montero being a catcher, right? But as time has gone on, he's pretty much known for his bat. Really doesn't have a position. Even, DH in the American League is suited well for Montero, but they'll sometimes try to put him at first base. But not known for his defense.
2-1. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. And another throw Seager steals second base. That's the 5th stolen base tonight for the Mariners. Number 4 for Seager.
Well, Yonder Alonso holding him on, and a lot of people might be thinking, okay, 5-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Should the team be running right there? Well, you know what? They're different philosophies. 5 after 5, 6 after 6, 7 after 7, right? If you've got that, like for instance, Mike Scioscia. Mike Scioscia's, I believe, is 6 after 6. If you've got a 6-run lead after 6, you don't run. Anything, you know.
By chopper to second, easy play for Amarista. And that's it for the Mariners in the 6th inning. On to the 7th. Padres trail by 5.
In relief to pitch for the Mariners. And an interesting note, Bimo gave up Tony Gwynn's final home run of his career when Bimo was just 24 years old with the Pirates, August 11th, 2001. That was Tony Gwynn's final home run of his career. He said, it's something I'm proud of. In fact, after it happened, I would scour through all the box scores after that to see if he hit another home run, and he never did. So there you go. Interesting note.
Yeah, that's a nice little nugget. Thank you, Chris. That was at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. He was pitching for the Bucks then. Just any association with the great number 19. Is there a more famous 19 in baseball that you can think of? I can't.
Oh, man.
Maybe there was a pitcher at 19. Bob Filler might have been 19. Get on the research for that.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dick. Yeah.
Well, Chris Young had a fine performance against the team for whom he once pitched. 6 innings, no runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts for Young, who stands to win his 6th win of the year.
Oh, a funky delivery from Joe Bimo. Throws across his body.
Alonso rolls one to first. A couple of convenient bounces. Easy play for Morrison. One away. Time now for the Fan Diego fans of the game. Anyone wearing a 19 deserves to be noticed. Thank you, Seattle, for remembering Mr. Padre. Yeah, that's great. Yasmani Grandal turns it around, hits right-handed. He's walked and singled. Well, I spoke too soon about famous 19s, but in our heart and in our mind, 19 will always belong to Tony. But yes, Bob Feller did wear 19, and the one other Hall of Famer, Robin Yount, wore 19.
Yeah.
Well, the Padres They've lost 40 times this year. And you got to look somewhere to find improvement or blame. And it goes right to the hitters. Pitching has been good enough. In the 40 losses, the Padres have averaged 1.7 runs in 40 losses. And here they are again. They lead the major leagues in scoring 1 or no runs. 21 times Bud Black's team has scored 0 or 1 run this year. 21.
Yeah, frustrating. And I'll tell you what, I've never seen anything like it. It's just so odd to see something, a collective slump like that.
Yeah, Yasmani Grandal has been on base all 3 times, a couple of walks and a single. More fans of the game coming into Safeco. It's a nice shirt of Tony. Part of the crowd tonight of 17,512 at Safeco Field. Grandal, a perfect night, a single and 2 walks. Maven is grounded into a double play and fly to left. Tomorrow, our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego, 12:30. It's a 12:40 start. Eric Stoltz against Roenis Elias. He's 5-5. Stoltz looking for his 3rd win of the year. 2-8. And then home. How about this, folks? Wednesday night, 6:30 for our Fox Sports pregame show. 7 o'clock start. Andrew Kashner against King Felix. How about that for a matchup?
That's a good one.
That's worth the ticket. And Thursday, chance to see Jesse Hahn off his 1-hit shutout. 6 innings and his first major league win in New York over the weekend. He'll go against Erasmo Ramirez of the Mariners. He's 1-4. There's the Padres line score, all singles. Venable, Smith, Quinton, and Grandal. One and 2 to Cam. Good block by Zunino. Little gray in that beard of Beimel.
Yeah, he's been around. He's had a nice career, Joe Beimel.
Off speed, and he had Maven out in front, cueing that one foul. Good glove work. Throw to second for 1. Back to first. A double play. Beimel playing some good defense there. Padres have hit into their second double play tonight. Stretch half of the 7th in Seattle. Our Nissan game summary. First inning, 2 on. And cleanup hitter Kyle Seager finds the seats with his 10th home run of the year. And just like that, Tyson Ross and the Padres down 3-0. And then the number 9 hitter, Brad Miller, in the second. He homers to right. His 5th of the season, 4-0. And the Mariners would add another on the Robbie Cano Luke double, also in the second inning. And this camouflage uniform, remembering number 19. So Blaine Boyer goes to work here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Logan Morrison, Mike Zunino, and Dustin Eckley for the M's. Morrison, a single, a walk, and a strikeout. So Tyson Ross goes 5 2/3, 5 earned runs, 7 hits, 7 walks, and a hit batsman. 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic of Tyson Ross with the walks and the hit batsman. Just didn't have that release point down tonight. Couldn't duplicate the delivery to throw consistent strikes.
Ball and a strike. Blaine Boyer taking over. Got the final out in the last inning. Morrison, Zunino, and Ackley ready here in the home half of the 7th. I like the color. This kind of a blue, turquoise sea blue. Two and 1. Well, you see how close that spear off his bat came to his eye. Caught him on the side of the eye, 5 stitches. That could have been very serious. His career at risk on that. He won't be slamming a bat into the wall again.
That's a lesson well learned right there.
Shift is on. Bobbled by Amarista, but plenty of time to get him at first. Well, Ron Fowler of the Padres, his statement mourned the loss of a man who shared our great pride in the city and made us all proud to be San Diegans. For more than a generation, the only thing more dependable in San Diego than sunshine was Tony Gwynn. No player ever has or ever will put on a Padres jersey without feeling the spirit and the passion of Tony. Nicely said by Mr. Fowler. Good job. It just doesn't seem right that we should lose 2 icons in 7 months' time.
I know. It's heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. Just
last time I saw Tony really was up in the broadcast booth during the ceremony, the memorial ceremony for Jerry.
And the last time I saw him was at San Diego State in uniform on the bench. It was prior to spring training. Jacques Jones was out hitting with Anthony Jr.
High pop-up. That'll come back into the seats behind home plate.
And I went to San Diego State because I was gathering some things for a charity event, and Tony, being as gracious as he's always been, signing some baseballs. He had his grandson on his lap, and he was bouncing around and just loving life. Yeah. And I said goodbye, and that was it.
Swing and a miss. Zunino, 1 and 2.
Texting him. I would text him and call him like once every 2 weeks. I'd be driving in the car and thinking of him, and just, I'm going to give him a call for the heck of it. And, he'd respond back, thanks. Just, he didn't have to, didn't expect him to.
Got him. First strikeout for Boyer. 2 away to Dustin Ackley. We're so fortunate that Tony found a second life after retiring in broadcasting, because it kept him alive for all of us.
Yeah.
Great mind and sense of humor.
People just gravitated to him, did they? I mean, we'd be sitting up there in the dining room, press dining room, and people would come up to Tony and he would extend his hand, and he'd make him feel like a friend right off the bat. That's the way he made you feel.
Out of play. And just like Bud Black mentioned very early in the telecast, that when at San Diego State as a player, whenever he went out to the field to practice, He never beat Tony. Tony was always there first.
Right.
It was true. You know, I come early to the ballpark. You do too.
Yes.
I come 2 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game. Tony's already been there 2 hours.
Sitting up in the booth watching batting practice, or just watching the field, or just
going in the clubhouse.
Exactly.
Yep. Chatting with not just players, but you know all the men that make it all work down there that don't get their pats on the back. But he always made sure to converse with them. Clubhouse guys. One and two the count. Outside 2-2.
Remember John Kruk telling me a story. They both signed the same year. Met up in Walla Walla, rookie ball. He, Greg Booker, John Kruk, Tony Gwynn. And they rode bikes to the ballpark.
Looper back up short, falling in a hurry, and Maven's able to get there for the out. So Blaine Boyer, 4 for 4. It comes out of the pen. 7 complete. 5-0 Seattle. All right, thank you, Mike. Cabrera leads off the 8th inning. Padres have trailed since the first inning on the 3-run homer by Kyle Seager. It's 5-0. And a nice touch again by the Seattle fans and the Seattle management. During the 7th inning stretch, they played some clips of Tony, and the 17,512 here stood and applauded. Cabrera's flied out and struck out. Beimel in relief of Chris Young, who stands to win his 6th game of the season for the Mariners. He's been a nice addition, Chris Young, to Seattle's roster. Two and two. Chris Denorfia's on deck. He'll hit for Blaine Boyer. Excuse me. Amarista. There is no Blaine Boyer in the lineup. You're accustomed to looking down that 9th slot and thinking it's the pitcher. And hit for Amarista.
Look out. Well, Alex Torres starts to heat up for the Padres.
And a full count to Everett Cabrera. It's not been an easy road trip. Philadelphia, then the 2-hour rain delay in New York. Guys got into their hotel rooms 1:30 in the morning, and then the flight took forever last night from New York. We didn't arrive here after 11 o'clock in our rooms. That was 2 o'clock New York time.
Yep.
And now tonight's game, and then right back tomorrow in a day game, and then right down to Petco for a game on Wednesday. And a leadoff walk for the Padres here in the 8th inning. Well, you saw Tony's 2,000th career base hit. How about number 3,000?
Now facing Dan Smith. Line drive, center field. There it is. Number 3,000 for Tony Gwynn. At Olympic Stadium, Tony Gwynn has done it. And all of Tony's teammates streaming out of the dugout to congratulate him.
And of course, as we said earlier, his 2,000th and 3,000th hit with his mother in attendance on her birthday.
That is just remarkable.
Coming through for mom. How good is that? Pitchers change. No one out here in the 8th for the Padres. Presents Padres Baseball by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By Petco, the power of together. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. Safeco Field here in Seattle, the scene. 17,512. Cheered early. 3 runs in the first on Seager's 3-run home run, 2 more in the second. And a 5-0 lead behind Chris Young. As Tony Gwynn remembered around Major League Baseball. Certainly most of all in the city that he loves, San Diego, but fans know. And bowing to his greatness today. Tom Wilhelmsen, he's tough to hit, 203 average. All the way to the screen, right through the glove of Zunino. And on to second goes Cabrera. I would think that's a pass ball. And indeed, that's the scoring.
Well, let's check it out. Yeah, very catchable ball right there. Had to reach across the body on the other part of the plate there.
Charlie Furbush now throwing in the bullpen. Denorfia, the pinch hitter. So a leadoff walk to Cabrera and a pass ball. Padres have a chance to spoil the shutout bid by the Mariners tonight. And Denorfia works the count 3-0. Never too late. Will Venable, leadoff man on deck.
So many great things about that 3,000th hit. Tony Gwynn, we saw up at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, and it was so fitting. Kerwin Danley, the first base umpire, he and Tony teammates at San Diego State. I mean, and his mom's birthday, just so many, you know, everything just right in line. Just a perfect day that was.
He was a pretty good author. Writes some nice scripts. Denorfia flies that one down right field line, foul. And the count runs out on Chris, trying to keep things going here in the 8th inning. A leadoff walk. Cabrera out at second base.
And the Philadelphia Phillies are in Atlanta playing the Braves. And since Tony Jr. leaving the team to be on the bereavement list to be with his family, a nice gesture. They hung Tony Gwynn Jr.'s jersey, number 19, in the dugout in Atlanta with the Phillies.
Yeah, that's nice. Hey, this game's got a wonderful heart. I mean, it's again reflective of the length of the season, the daily commitment, the investment players, fans, owners, staff make to this game. You better care. That's part of baseball life. Another chopper foul. Oh, look at that face.
We're in that Northwest green. It's a jersey they wear on Mondays and Fridays up here in Seattle. That color that you like so much there, Dick.
Yeah, that's very successful too.
Yeah.
7-1 on Mondays, winning 5 in a row. Ground ball to third. Oh, what a pickup by Seager. One away, holding Cabrera at second base. That was a tough chance.
Yeah, off to the side, almost an Olay by Seager. Even Kyle Seager himself looking by that gesture right there. Well, kind of got lucky on that one. He'll take it. He checks the runner and gets the out. I think even he is amazed that he gloved that one.
So 1 out to the top of the order. Venable a single and a couple of strikeouts. Ooh, that took a funny bounce. Shortstop Miller throws him out. Ball was cracked hard and hit the mound and carried him sharply to the left, and Miller stayed with it. So a couple of well-hit balls here for outs.
You know, we often hear about players, hitters, squaring balls up. I tell you what, Will Venable did square up that one. You can hear it all the way up here. As you mentioned, it off the side of the mound. Look at that.
He did a good job reacting to get over there and throw out Venable. 2 away. Seth Smith, a single and a couple of strikeouts. Padres with 4 hits, all singles tonight. Smith, Quinton, Venable, and Grandal with the hits. Padres trying to avoid being whitewashed for the 12th time this year. They do it right here with Cabrera 90 feet away. 2-1 now to Smith. Oh, he went around. 2-2.
Well, it's a pretty good changeup right there by Wilhelmsen. And speaking of changeups and off-speed pitches, Tony said the toughest pitch to hit was a good split finger, a good changeup.
That ball hit well to right field, into the gap, but the right fielder moves over, Chavez, to make the play. And the Padres are gone in the 8th inning. It's still Seattle 5, San Diego nothing.
Years and we had a blast. I had a blast. I truly enjoyed it. But it wouldn't have been nearly as much fun if you hadn't been as supportive as you were. So I say thank you to all of our fans sitting at Petco Park in the morning. Thank you. To the fans who've made the trek, thank you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hall of Fame induction acceptance speech for Tony. Couldn't say thank you enough. Alex Torres comes in, and Jace Peterson moves in at second base for the Padres here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, last time out for Alex was against the New York Mets. It was just yesterday. Pitched only an inning, a third of an inning, and he walked one Met.
Brad Miller, the number 9 hitter, who homered in the second, a solo shot, leads it off.
Boy, that was a great induction class, wasn't it? Tony Gwynn, Cal Ripken Jr. Wow. What, over 80,000 people attending that?
And Cooperstown's just a little village.
Yeah. It's going to be a big void this year in the induction ceremonies, that's for sure.
Yeah, he used to talk about going back to Cooperstown and trying to sit next to Rod Carew, two great left-handed hitters, to exchanging even to this day. What could we have done better? What did you do here?
I remember Tony saying that they always sat at the Judy table, like the Judy hitters, right?
Yeah. Punch and Judy is a baseball term, so they become Judies. Yeah, Judy's all right. Peterson taking over for Amarista at second. Denorfia batting for Amarista. Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Torres. Let's go to our Bill Howe play of the game and go all the way back to the first inning with 2 men on. And the count 3-0. Tyson Ross delivered a sweet fastball. Seager green-lighted. 10th home run of the season. Now 45 RBIs for the third baseman, having himself a banner year. 3-0, and the Mariners have not looked back. It's our Bill Howe play of the game. Chavez, a single, couple of walks, and a strikeout.
Here's a little other Mariner Padre nugget regarding Tony. First ever meeting, remember, interleague play started in 1997, correct? Remember that?
Okay.
It was back in July 2nd, 1997, the first time that these two teams met during the regular season. Tony went 2 for 4 that day.
Left field, but closing the gap is Smith. 2 away.
No, he went 2 for 4 that day, but that's not the shocker. He raised his average on July 2nd to 400. Wow. In July. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced and retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. 400 average on July 2nd.
A lot of players in this day would like to hit 300 on July 2nd. James Jones, JJ they call him, scored a couple of runs and has a single, 1 for 4. One and one. In the 9th inning, the Padres have Quinton, Headley, and Alonso scheduled. One and two. He was a 4th-round pick back in 2009. Jones out of Long Island University. Not exactly a baseball factory. That's the beauty of the game. Yeah, that's why you have scouts surveying the entire marketplace. You never know where you're going to find a gem. What was Tony? He was 3rd round, as I remember.
He was, yeah. 1981.
A lot of folks passed on the Hall of Famer. Left field. Smith again is there. A 1-2-3 inning for Alex Torres. Here we go. 9th inning. Last call for San Diego.
A great player professionally, as a human being, outstanding. What a guy to have in a ball club. The best you'll ever get anywhere.
Here's the roar for Tony Gwynn.
I'll leave this game with a smile on my face, knowing that I've had a good career. I've met a lot of people. I've learned a lot. But I will miss you, and I'll miss you a lot.
Well, you could just take those words and reverse them out of our mouths tonight. Ninth inning. Quinton, Headley, and Alonso for the Padres, trying to break this shutout bid. 5-0 Seattle. Carlos has a single to left, and he's popped up and flied out. This epidemic goes back to the end of May. The Padres, except for the one extra inning game in a 9-inning game, have not filled up the hit column in double figures. They've not picked up 10 hits in any game in all of June. And that one's going to go deep and far. You can watch Quinton touch them all. That breaks the shutout. Number 3 for Carlos Quinton. It's 5-1. So leadoff homer for Quinton.
And that was an 0-2 pitch also. We know that Carlos Quinton could turn on the fastball, and that one was in. He got his hands through nicely.
Into the bullpen beyond the 376 marker and left. Here's Headley. Shift on and a 3-1 put out as it's fielded by Morrison. Time now for the Carl's Jr. star of the game. And the former Padre right-hander, the 6'10", Chris Young. 6 innings of shutout ball, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. For the 35-year-old veteran, the Princeton man was a Tiger tonight. Our Carl's Jr. star of the game. Yonder Alonso, 0 for 3. It was only the 3rd home run allowed by Wilhelmsen. I have won Seattle here in the ninth. Two and one. Three and one.
You know, Dick, in a game like this where there's not a lot of offense for San Diego, and it just happened to be one of those rare nights where Tony didn't feel his swing was right on. Maybe wore the collar that night. Guaranteed he'd be in the cage after the game or working on the tee somewhere, trying to hone that skill and get that swing right for the next game.
Oh, he wore out the tee. That's why people didn't know how hard he worked, because he was all alone. That was his laboratory, making sure that those hands were just right. Contact point. Count remains full to Alonso. He's fouled out, flied out to the shortstop, and grounded to first. Carlos Quinton with a solo homer, his 3rd of the season, breaking the shutout. And Alonso chases, strike 3. That was ball 4. 2 away. And Yasmani Grandal, who has been up 3 times, on base 3 times. A couple of walks and a single. I think you're going to enjoy the tribute to Tony. I hope you'll stay tuned, fans. Right after the final out, we'll send you back to San Diego. Ball 1. Eric Stoltz, he's the starter tomorrow afternoon. We invite you to join us 12:30 here on Fox Sports San Diego. Veteran Hoosier left-hander goes for win number 3. And the Padres down to their final strike. Two and two. Wilhelmsen for the final out. A sobering loss on a solemn day in Seattle. Coming up, a tribute to Tony. The final score here, 5-1 Seattle. Let's send it to San Diego and Mike Pomeranz.